Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Kneon. I am here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And we're going to talk about Netflix in this house they have in Dallas that actually looks pretty cool, but you might want to read the fine print in the terms of service.
Not just Dallas, there's one in Philadelphia and some other places. They have multiple ones. But the terms of service across the board is basically like, you know, we can take your likeness and use it.
Yeah, so we're gonna take a look at this, and there is a woman on TikTok who is kind of sounding the alarms on the terms of service, and yeah, it could be little overreaction because sometimes people agree sign up for things that they don't fully understand what they're signing, but it is interesting if you read it what it actually does mean, and again, you need to read this stuff, but most people don't because it's
most
pages
people aren't
and
going to even be aware of it, honestly.
Junk, yeah, and it can be as simple as you buy a ticket, you're agreeing to the terms of service, and you don't know what you're agreeing to. So let's talk about this. Before we get into it any further, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. You'll get woohoo if you do.
Woohoo!
If you want more Clownfish TV, go out to more.clownfishtv.com. That's moreclownfishtv.com. So first, let's look at the house. This is the Dallas one. And this is coming from the Dallas Observer. Netflix house Dallas brings streaming dreams and nightmares to life. Oh, boy.
Yeah, several of these houses exist, and they have these things that people can go visit them.
Yeah.
That's not the issue.
The
issue is that what this woman has brought up is in the terms of service, and you have somebody else that broke it down. Yeah, here
that'd be Mario. Is it Knopfel?
Yeah.
Who's from, yeah.
Now, she mentions she's not a lawyer, but she studied law and some other things, and she mentioned some things. Now, I did read the terms of service, which we're going to talk about. It is worded to be just it's worded as being part of connected to the house experience.
Yeah.
But I also know, having had lawyers go over contracts in Hollywood, that a lot of times they deliberately keep things kind of nebulous and they aren't specific because then when you argue it later, they can be like, oh, we did say that, but if you look at it this way. And then it's the argument about how it's interpreted. And those people are going to give up because they don't want to deal with it. But yeah, there were some terms of service things they brought up that were a little bit like questionable.
Okay, this new Netflix house gaming studio thing is fucking insane. And they're literally going to steal your identity. Just hear me out.
Okay. You're gonna have to sell me on this one.
Okay, I think she's a little more extreme than it actually is, but it's still some questionable stuff.
All right.
Allegedly, and also I'm not a lawyer. Giving myself some credibility, I studied criminal justice, sociology, psychology. I got my master's in domestic homeland security, and I went to law school. I failed the bar 3 times. I'm not a good test taker. However, I know a few things about social media and data and all these things kind of combining. Somebody posted this on TikTok, and essentially it says that when you enter a Netflix house, you give Netflix the right to use your name, your likeness, and your voice in any use worldwide forever without compensation.
Well, okay, that's interesting though, because this actually is the case. Like if you're in an area where they're doing filming for commercials or stuff like that too, sometimes They I don't know. They sneak it into the fine print. Like if you just happen to be in this theme park when they just happen to be filming a commercial and you just happen to be in the background, you can't come after us.
Yeah, but usually that's in regard to just that commercial that they can run it forever and you don't get compensated. It's really nebulous how it's worded. If we'll go to look at the terms of service when we're done watching this, and I'll show you what I mean.
Right? And immediately I was like, there's just no fucking way that that's real, right? Because that's so
what I thought,
scary.
Which is why I looked.
Yeah.
It's real and it's worse than I thought it was. So I took my ass over to netflixhouse.com/terms and there was all this hoopla. And I don't like what they're doing. Basically, when you go in and you read all the terms, when you walk in there, you're giving them everything. You're giving them your face, your movements, your identity, how you talk, how you walk. You're giving them everything.
Wow.
It does say that. It says in regards to the house experience, but it does say what she's saying it says.
And you're giving them the right to AI generate you. And
whoa, what? The right to AI generate. So is this how they're gonna train AI?
That's what people are thinking, and they're gonna use because they said all these people are coming through there because they love the Netflix shows, not knowing this, giving away their information and their movements, and that next thing you know, there's gonna be an extra in a romantic comedy, and someone said this in one of the comments or something around this, that it's gonna look just like you, or move just like you, or talk, sound just like you, and it's because that's what people are concerned about.
Oh my God.
So
yeah.
they're going to use all this data from all these thousands of people without compensation or, real permissions, just so they could, use it for things to train or to use.
It's like Us, the movie Us, where everybody has a doppelganger, except you have like an AI doppelganger. Oh my God.
You're giving them the right to use all that in their content without compensating you whatsoever. Oh, and if you bring your child in there, you're also saying that it's okay for them to take your child's data,
yes,
which is
it does.
scary. So then I got to thinking, why would they be doing this, right? Well, I live in New Jersey, and if you know, New Jersey is the home to the new Netflix, like Hollywood studio, essentially. And we know that Warner Brothers, Netflix, merge. Like, we know that there's a lot happening in the entertainment industry. They're going to need a lot more content to get put out. It's going to be AI generated. It's going to be fucking us.
Yep.
It might be. I mean, could be. They could be harvesting human death. Well, I mean, for crowd scenes and stuff like that too.
That's what people are thinking. So if you go out, just go out to the terms of service.
All right, so these are the terms from Netflix's website. We have Section 8 here, name, image, and likeness.
Yeah, this is where they're talking about.
Okay, so when you visit Netflix house, we may photograph, record, depict, or otherwise capture the name, image, voice, or likeness of you, or in the case of parents or guardians of any minor, as you engage with the experience and or other content offered within the Netflix house. In visiting Netflix house, you grant Netflix attractions, its affiliates, and respective successors, and assigns, and anyone authorized by any of them, the irrevocable, perpetual, worldwide, non-exclusive right to photograph, record, depict, and or portray you and your child and use, and grant to others the right, but not the obligation, to photograph, record, depict, and or portray you or your child and use your or your child's actual or simulated likeness.
Simulated like this: name, image, photograph, voice, and actions. But it says in connections with Netflix house operations. So they're trying to tie it to Netflix house operations.
Well,
however, if that's
but it says affiliates.
AI,
it says affiliates and successors too.
Right, and it also says, so they sell it. They sell it to somebody else.
They sell it. Yeah, we got all this data. We're going to sell it to Netflix.
But they said the house operations. Well, if the operations is meant to collect data, collect AI, stuff, training and stuff, that would be part of the operations. It's considered because they could argue because it's nebulous. Operations are not specifying what operations. They do a little bit, but it's like they could argue that what was tied to, because the purpose of the house was these things. So this is tied to operations. They said, including by way of example for security or analytical purposes. You or your child's participation in any of the experiences offered as part of Netflix House and or in the promotion, advertising, sale, and publicity of Netflix attractions, Netflix Inc. and its affiliates, and respective successors and assigns, and anyone authorized by any of them in all media, now known or later devised, meaning that something comes up later, they get to do it.
So
worldwide,
20 years from now.
In perpetuity, forever, and any and all languages, formats, versions, and forms related to such Netflix house. Again, they put that house in there, but it's supposed to be tied to the house. But I'm also like, I know that they will argue, well, it is connected to the house, so we can do it. Without compensation to you, your child, or any other individual, unless prohibited by law, you waive any right of inspection or approval of your child's appearance as permitted herein. What? In the event the site offers the opportunity to leave comments, information, ideas, content, reviews, and other feedback, you also grant Netflix attractions, affiliates, and respective successors and assigns, and anyone authorized by any of them, the right to publicly post your name, username, and or other information related to your feedback, which, that they do that all the time with different things.
Right.
But see, your child too, you're like giving up your rights, your child's rights forever. And they could go to even things that don't exist yet. Well, there's just a Netflix house, right? It was only related to that Netflix house. Why would they have to worry about in perpetuity? Why would they have to worry about, in things that exist currently and things that might exist in the future? Why would all that be tied to it if it's just for this one house experience?
Yeah.
That's not what they're gonna argue in court.
So this is coming from Mario Knopfel. This is his assessment of it. Basically, yeah, you're letting them have your likeness and name and whatever, your voice forever, and your kids too. It says about harvesting human behavior at scale to feed an AI content machine that's about to explode following Netflix's $72 billion Warner Brothers acquisition. The timing isn't coincidental. Netflix needs to justify spending more than most countries' GDP on Warner Brothers, and that means producing content at an unprecedented scale. Traditional production is too slow and expensive, but if you can capture thousands of real humans walking, talking, reacting, and emoting in controlled environments, you've just created the world's most sophisticated motion capture studio disguised as entertainment. Every gesture you make, solving a Squid Game puzzle, every expression watching a jump scare, every word you speak to your family becomes Netflix's intellectual property forever. And here's what signing actually means. Netflix can create an AI version of you and use it in any production worldwide without your knowledge or consent. And they'll just say, hey, first they'll say, hey, that's a coincidence. And then if you push it, they'll be like, well, this is what you signed.
Well, that's what I'm saying. And even though it's nebulous enough, it says that it's tied to this house only. It clearly isn't just tied to this house only for the fact that they're talking about future things and future projects. And, if you appear in future things, I'm saying that would imply that it goes outside the house. So part of it's saying house specific. But then some of the other verbiage, it sounds like, but it's, unless they're planning on keeping these houses around for 100 years, which I doubt.
No, successors, that's their out. That's basically like, we're going to run it for a couple of years, get the data, and then we're going to shut it down, but then we're going to give that data to...
sell it off. No, successors. We can sell it off, and they get the data, too.
Yeah.
That goes to them, too, because they're the successors.
I was like 23andMe. I mean, the freaking genealogy stuff, it's Trojan horse. It's like, hey... give us your spit. We'll get all your DNA info. Oh, it's helpful to you because you find out your lineage and any health problems, whatever. And then we're going to sell that data to pharmaceutical companies. And they're running into problems now because they shut down 23andMe. And where's that? Oopsie doopsie. Where's all that data go? But yeah, he's right. This is what my first thought was, is they're going to have a library of humans that you can use in crowd scenes.
Yep.
For blockbuster movies, because it's a lot of work to make individual humans act like they're all individuals, not just palette swaps or whatever.
But not if you already recorded their motion and all that.
The Warner Brothers merger makes it more dangerous. Netflix isn't just a streaming service; they're becoming Hollywood's largest content factory. They'll own HBO, DC Comics, Harry Potter, Game of Thrones, and hundreds of other franchises that need constant content. And every studio in town is going to watch it and see if it works. I said, yeah, Universal's upcoming Frisco Resort, Disney's parks, Six Flags are all taking notes. Yeah, I could totally see Disney using it. And Disney, they were ahead of the curve because they started using the magic bands like 15 years ago, and they could track wherever you were in the park with the magic bands. And they said, oh, that's not what we're doing. No, it absolutely was what they were doing. And that's how they're, determining, crowd control and when they would, offer fast passes for certain attractions and all that, depending on the crowds. But they also could track you because, again, I lost something. We had to find it. And to find me, they had to have and they had photos of me from all over.
They did, and they were trying to hide it from me, but I was behind her, so I could see the iPad, and I could see it was pictures of you all over the park in different places. She kept trying to hide it so I couldn't see it, but I totally saw it.
Yep. And that's what they were using the RFID
and that was
chips.
then.
Yeah, and that was years ago. Yeah. It said it's insidious how they're targeting families. Parents are excited to give their kids a Stranger Things experience. They're unknowingly signing away their children's biometric rights.
Yes.
These aren't teenagers posting TikToks who understand digital footprints. These are 7-year-olds whose parents just wanted a fun Saturday. Hey, if you're taking your 7-year-old to a Stranger Things, I'm just saying, the terms state that parents are consenting on behalf of minors, creating a generational database of human movement and expression that Netflix owns forever. So they could see a digital ghost in Netflix content for the rest of their life. Wouldn't that be wild, though? Like you're 80-some years old, and when Netflix owns all of Hollywood, all of entertainment, there I am at 16. That's me in the crowd.
Some people might be into it, and that's okay. If that's something you're comfortable with, then by all means do it. But,
He said the entertainment industry's labor unions are already fighting the merger over job concerns, but they're missing the bigger picture. Why negotiate with actors when you can harvest infinite performances from theme park visitors? Why pay extras when you have a database of thousands of people who already signed away their rights? Wow.
Pretty much. You have it. So
yeah. So that's really interesting. But I think every other experience, every other theme park, I could see Walmart even freaking doing it. You walk into Walmart, oh, security cameras, got foot, whatever. But all that stuff is training AI anyway, because Sora, there's so many like quote unquote security camera videos. And it's just, training on millions of security camera, videos that have been posted online, but that it's generating new content from that. So it's like,
well, this kind of ties into the Instacart thing we talked about yesterday. Like,
Yeah.
people were part of this experiment and they were being charged more money, but they were unaware they were part of experiment and being charged more money. It's
Yeah.
like that. These people are going in not knowing, and they're all across the country that you might potentially be. Well, you're definitely agreeing to let them use your likeness and track you and everything else in regards to the house. It potentially could go further than that, and it's not just you as an adult; it's your kid too. Your kid who isn't even old enough to make that decision on their own.
There's
Legally.
no such thing as privacy anymore if you're online at all. And I think eventually,
This is in person. This is even online.
I know, but I'm saying, and I was gonna say, now it's extending to physical space too. You go, I mean, we've always had cameras and stuff, but now it's going to be even more invasive, where they're going to potentially, juice you for content for other humans to watch. It's just wild. I mean, it's just.
And if you're okay with that, then that's fine. But
Build
a lot
a
of people
cabin
aren't.
and
A lot of people
live in the
aren't
woods.
aware, and they need to be like you're just agreeing to this without reading this, because no one reads that stuff. Let's be honest. And I would have probably done it not have known, but now that they really need to make sure people are aware. Like, they need to have someone out there explaining to people, just so you know, if you agree to go in here, but they know people aren't going to go if that's the case.
Yeah. Yep. So we're gonna wrap this up. All right. Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. We'll talk later.
Bye.